Well, I don't know if there's a thing about what you're supposed to be understanding about art. I think that's sort of like the issue. There's not a thing you're supposed to be understanding about art. The idea is like, well, what is art? How does art function? What is this? What does it do? It makes me think about like work today, how it's much more instrumentalized for a certain kind of outcome. The American sensibility is like there has to be a purpose for everything, like what you're doing. This has to make sense. It has to make things better, or it has to make money, it has to solve a problem. But I don't think art solves any problems. Like, it's not going to change the world. If you want to change the world, you have to do politics. Art can open up a space for that thought to develop, but it's not going to do it.
But this is just doing this with pen is just trying to get a feel for it. Like, how do I do that? And sort of building some kind of muscle memory to do it with paint.
My way of coming to the experience of making art, one is a kind of awareness of death, because I would get up and I would listen to my grandmother breathing when she slept. I just had this idea of like, okay, maybe you don't wake up, right? And that was kind of there. So it kind of was, oh, there's a problem here in life. You know, you're born, but oh, you're going to die.
Put something across the top.
For a lot of people, I don't really look Mexican or Mexican American. I can remember also in eighth grade, I went to a party. This girl asked me to go to her party. It was a white girl. So their parents were picking me up. So they picked me up and everything. And so the mother goes, oh, so you're Spanish? I go, no, I'm Mexican. Oh, you're Spanish. So it's sort of like, okay, there's this fucking problem that exists here. Because culturally and everything, it's like, oh, I'm in this other space. But then there's this white culture that's trying to impose their definition of who you are. And so then you are losing control of the narrative that way. You become just a piece in their story. How do I approach making paintings or making work? It's from a very body, sensual, intellectual mishmash. There's not one clear, dominant sphere. Is when I'm on the street walking or whatever, and I see something that catches my eye, it's a real physical kind of experience of looking. And then it comes out somehow in a work. So it's really tied to the experience of being alive. And what does that mean? It's not tied to a ideology. It's another thing that sort of influences my work, which is the question of representation. I understand the validity of it because we live in a political democratic system where representation is important. But at the same time, universities, museums are saying, oh, we don't have any black artists. We got to bring artists. We don't have, brown artists. We got to bring them in. We got to show this stuff. But at the same time that's happening, they are still defining the terms of all of that. While there is maybe good intention there, it's also restricting your full subjectivity as an artist if you are still being defined by universal white power structure that exists. One has to be willing to step into the mess of thought, of life, and see what happens. Because you don't know what the end point is. Whenever I started painting, or even a drawing or whatever, I don't know what that end point is going to be. It's very open to a sort of chaotic process of thinking.